The daily routine that helped me lose 40 pounds of body fat in just 18 weeks whilst working 3 jobs and still needing to pay the bills. Welcome back to the Jack of All Gains, Master of None podcast hosted by Joe Yaxley, electrician for 12 plus years. This is the #1 health and fitness podcast for tradesmen looking to lose fat, build muscle and boost their energy levels without adding a job to the diary. Now working with tradesmen all over the world, different ages, different trades, different shapes and sizes. On this podcast, I'll be using my decade of experience working on site, on the tools, giving you the tips and tricks, showing you how to master your health and fitness as a tradesman and avoid daily trips to the likes of Greggs, McDonald's and Tesco's to buy meal deals. With insights into the systems and strategies we've used to help transform the lives of over 500 tradesmen in just the last 2 years alone. Without further ado, let's talk more action. Let's get into the episode. So, imagine a life where having no time wasn't an issue. Imagine a life where having no energy wasn't an issue. Imagine that wasn't even a thing, okay? You had more spare time to do what you wanted to do and not only managed to get all of your work done, but you also had enough free time to spend more time with your friends, with your family, with your kids, doing the shit you love, doing the shit that you work for. It's the dream, right? Well, in today's episode, we are going to cover what worked for me, how I would be setting up my health and fitness journey, my training, my nutrition, my supplementation, how I used to set it up, and what I would recommend to you guys how to set it up to succeed, to buy yourself back more time, more energy, more motivation, okay? We're going to bust some myths too, okay? The myths we're going to bust later on in the episode. Cardio is the best way to burn body fat. Is it? Okay. You must go to the gym to see results. Must you? Supplements are essential for progress. Are they? The more cardio you do, the more fat you lose. Do you? Okay. You can have the perfect plan in the world, but if you're not organized, it goes to shit. Learn this from me. It goes to shit. If you do not have structure, your plan will go to shit, okay? For an example, let's imagine that you've got people working for you. You've got staff, okay? If they turn up to the job that they're meant to do and they haven't got an action plan, they're going to be turning up. They're going to be stood there having a coffee. They're going to be stood there having a chat. They're not going to be getting the work done. So if you're the boss, paying your staff to do the work, but you haven't given them a plan and they're fucking stood on site not doing nothing, then that's your fault. But that's because you haven't got a plan. That's because they haven't got a plan. I've been on the other foot where I've been an employee and I've been on site without a plan. And trust me, you don't get a lot done. Okay, so in terms of being a boss, make sure your staff have a plan. Same as your fitness and fat loss journey. Make sure you have an action plan to go with, okay? Without structure, without the foundations, without a base, again, imagine a house. If you haven't got the groundworks team in, it all falls apart, okay? You can't just go in and fucking wire the house if there ain't no walls to put in. So you need structure, you need foundations, okay? And then just to reiterate, what I'm going to go through today worked for me and is what I would advise you to do. However, just understand that everybody is different. You must take what I say and implement it and try it for yourself. If it doesn't work, you may need to change it slightly. I'm not saying what I recommend is 100% going to work for you, because every individual is an individual and every individual is unique, okay? Do what works for you. Everybody's different, but take what I say and implement it with yourself, and hopefully it should work, okay? It's going to give you the best chance of succeeding. You may have to make some slight changes here and there. Tip #1 to set up your own journey is to make a list of every task you do throughout the course of a day. This includes minor tasks such as waking up, having breakfast, taking your dogs for a walk, taking your kids to school if you've got to do the school pickup run, okay? Family time, downtime with the missus, downtime with the kids. If it doesn't go into the diary, it doesn't happen. So task #1, anybody listening to this, what I want you to do, pause it, grab a pen and paper, open your laptop, open notes on your phone, and make a list of every task you do over the course of a day. And if you can't think of everything off the top of your head, I want you to pause this podcast. I want you to come back in 3 days' time. I want you to spend 3 days making a time cap, making a time record of absolutely everything you do across the course of a day, okay? Every hour, write down what you do and then summarize it, okay? Task number 2, once you've got your list of jobs that you do on a day-to-day basis, you need a calendar and you need to start putting it into the calendar. Whether this is Google Calendar, it's personally what I use. I think it's brilliant. It's free as well, which many of you tradies will like. Or you might enjoy pen and paper. Those of you tradies are very old school who I've worked with in the past. You enjoy pen and paper. I personally have a paper diary as well. But you need to open up your diary, open up a calendar, a 24-hour calendar, or covering from like 5 a.m. when you get up to 11 p.m. when you go to sleep. And we need to start putting those jobs into the calendar. This includes work as well, by the way. Work counts as obviously a job. If it isn't in the calendar, it doesn't happen. And I know work isn't always flexible. You're not always going to start at 7. You're not always going to finish at 5. But if you have a structured plan to kind of go at it, it's going to make your life a hell of a lot easier. Okay? That's task number 1, to time block everything you do. Step number 2, or tip number 3, should I say, we're gonna touch upon how to set up your training. So we're going to cover training times. What time should you be training as a tradesman who wants to burn body fat, build muscle, and get into shape? The best training split to do as a tradesman, the best exercises, rest times. There is so much to consider when it comes to training, okay? First up, we're going to cover training times. What time of the day should you be training as a tradesman, okay? Morning training, do you train before work? Evening training, do you train after work, okay? My personal preference and what I found works for me, if your gym allows it to, if you train at home as well, you can do this, is to train first thing in the morning. Why? Because if you train in the evening, you're relying on the fact that you're going to finish work in time. Most of us know that realistically, you're not going to finish at fucking 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock every single day, unless you have a pretty good boss. But most of you who are self-employed, you have your own businesses, you're going to be working long days, hard hours, so you need to be training first thing in the morning. You also need to be setting yourself up for success. Make it as easy as possible to get to the gym. Things like getting your work clothes out the night before, getting your food out the night before, packing your fucking work bag the night before. Make it as easy as possible. So when you get up first thing in the morning, you put your trainers on, you walk out the door, you go to the gym, you shower at the gym, you then go to work. If your gym isn't open in the morning, you're going to have to train in the evening. You're going to have to be a little bit more structured with your time at work. But again, that's where you're not always going to maybe get to the end of the week and have fitted in all of your training sessions because, again, you're relying on work kind of playing in your favour. So if you can, I would be training first thing in the morning. Okay? What do you do when you're actually in the gym then? So you've got to the gym. What do you do? What training split do you do? If I was a tradesman listening to this and I'd never stepped foot in the gym before, or I'd dabbled here and there, I would start 3 times a week. Doesn't matter what days, it might be at the weekend, but I would start off 3 times a week and I would start off 45 to 60 minutes per session. You can get excellent results doing this, okay? If you think 3 hours a week, you can get really, really good results training 3 hours a week. And then we build up from here. Don't make the mistake that so many people do. Set your expectations too high, which I love it for you having big expectations. But don't say, I'm going to train fucking 6 times a week, and then you get to the first week and you realize you've only done 3 times and you give up, you chuck in the towel. So the thing that I found worked best for me when I started, start small, tick off the boxes. Once you've mastered 3 times a week, maybe up it to 4, maybe up it to 5, okay? Don't go out too hot too soon, okay? I would do 3 times per week, and I would do full body training splits. You can do push-pull legs or you can do 3 full bodies. I would personally do 3 times full body training programs, because if you don't manage to get there 3 times and you only manage to make the gym once, manage to make the gym twice, at least you've hit your whole body, okay? That's the thought process behind that. Initially, though, it's just about getting in, getting something done, boosting your confidence, finding your feet, okay? If you want a copy of my 3-day training split built for tradesmen, message me on Instagram, the word workout, and I'll send it across to you, okay? Workout, and I'll send it across to you if you want a copy of that. The key from the beginning is to gain momentum. When you start seeing results, you'll build your motivation. Some of you might be listening to this at the moment saying, Joe, I haven't got any fucking motivation to go to the gym. You're not going to have any motivation. Let me tell you this, until you start seeing results, you're not going to have any motivation. So get into the gym, start eating better, start seeing changes, and you will feel more motivated, okay? The importance of having a plan as well. Go into the gym with a plan. Don't just turn up saying, I'll go on whatever's free. We've all been that guy in the gym twiddling our thumbs thinking, what do I do next? Maybe I'll jump on the cross trainer and maybe I'll do this and that. And then you walk out and you've been on the cross trainer and the bike for 45 minutes, okay? Go into the gym with a plan. Again, if you don't message me, go on Google, just type in 3-day workout plan, easy workout plan, something like that. And just make sure that you're going into the gym with a plan, okay? On training as well, I would turn your phone off. Like, the customers can wait. Go into the gym. You want to be in and out. You want to be structured with your time. You don't want to be in there answering calls from fucking customers, okay? Turn your phone off. Be regimented. I'm sure the customers can manage for 45 minutes to an hour, okay? And you want to be time efficient as well. So if I was doing a full body training split, I would also be implementing things like shorter rest periods, supersets, trisets, giant sets, rest pause sets. It might sound a little bit overwhelming for people listening right now, but essentially these are intensifier methods that can help you get a bigger bang for your buck in a shorter space of time when you're training, okay? So shorter rest periods, supersets are probably the couple that you want to look at implementing. Type them into Google if you're unsure of what they mean, or drop me a message and I'll explain it, okay? Second of all, now with master training, we're in the gym, we're training 3 times a week in the morning. How do you set up your nutrition? How do you know what to eat, when to eat, how much to eat, okay? First off, you want to be working out how many calories you need, okay? I would go online and go to www.calculator.net, I believe it is, or caloriecalculator.net. You'll know which one it is when you're on there. You put in your height, you put in your weight, you put in how active you are. It's going to tell you roughly how many calories that you need. Start off as a baseline with that, okay? Then I wouldn't be worrying about carbohydrates and fats, but I would be trying to hit a reasonable amount of calories, and I would be trying to hit a reasonable protein target. What's a reasonable protein target? You want to be aiming for 1 gram per pound of body weight. So to keep the math simple, let's say you are a 100 pounds male. You would be very, very light and very, very skinny. But let's say, for example, you're a 100 pound male. You would need 100 grams of protein per day. Let's say you're a 200 pounds male, you would need 200 grams of protein per day. If you're weighing yourself in kilograms, times the number by 2.2, that will give you your answer roughly in pounds, okay? And then that's how much protein you need. What do you eat then? Now you've worked out how many calories you need and how much protein you're going to have. What foods do you want to be eating, okay? So you want plenty of carbohydrates. Don't cut out bread. It does not make you fat. You want to be eating plenty of carbohydrates. And you want to be eating the carbohydrates at the time of the day when you have the most energy. Think about your day right now. What points of the day do you feel the most fucking drained, full of energy? You want to be, for example, if you crash at 3 p.m. in the afternoon, maybe make sure you stop for lunch and you stop skipping lunch, okay? You want to, if you're training in the morning, you want to be fueling up and just having some food, some quick digesting carbohydrates before you train. Things like Squares bars, Rice Krispies bars, Cocoa Pops, cereal, things like that are brilliant, okay? Rice, fucking not rice, you're not going to have rice in the morning. Bagels, jams, honey, banana, brilliant fast digesting carbs. If you're training in the evening, again, I would recommend having some sort of fast digesting carbohydrate on the way to the gym. Maybe if you train in the morning and you're somebody listening to this saying, well, Joe, I don't like eating first thing in the morning. Like, I don't really eat breakfast. Have a large evening meal. Okay, that's absolutely fine. We're talking about the fine percentages here. The things that are going to make the minor percentages. Just make sure you're eating enough carbohydrates. Okay, make sure you're not starving yourself and cutting out bread. It does not make you fat, by the way. Okay, personally, how I would set your plan up is I would set it up with 3 main meals a day. I wouldn't listen to the fucking gurus online who tell you need to eat 7-8 meals a day to spike your metabolism and boost your metabolism. It's bullshit. Why? It's not realistic for us as tradesmen. We cannot stop 7-8 times a day unless you work for yourself and you don't want to make money, okay? Realistically, we are stopping at 10 and 1 at a maximum, okay? So I would be setting up your diet plan to have 3 meals a day. I'd be having breakfast. Stop skipping breakfast. I'd be having breakfast. I'd be having lunch at 1 o'clock and I'd be having tea. And I would also place 2 snacks. 1 at 10 o'clock, 1 in the evening. That is sufficient enough. If you want a snack on the way to the gym, again, have a snack on the way to the gym, okay? As an example on this, most of you, or those of you guys listening to this saying, I don't eat breakfast, Joe. I can't eat breakfast first thing in the morning. I skip breakfast, okay? Maybe start having breakfast. Take Ash Mahoney, for example, Mahoney Brickworks. Those of you who follow him, he's got a lot of followers, so I'm assuming a lot of you guys listening to this will follow him. He has a big fucking fry up every single morning, and the guy is in incredible shape. That proves that you do not have to skip breakfast to be in shape, okay? He leads from the front, he leads by example. In terms of snacks, I would be having something grab and go, maybe that you haven't got to sit down and eat too quickly. Again, maybe for lunch, you want something a little bit quicker, something like sandwiches, wraps, protein bars, protein shake. You want to be having foods like that you can maybe eat quickly, and you've only got to sit down for 5-10 minutes. You haven't got to sit down and have a full course meal for half an hour, okay? Because that's not what this is about. It's not realistic. Please make sure you are sitting down and eating, though, because those of you skipping it, you're then ending up in a biscuit tin and feeling starving, okay? So don't skip. Actually make time to make sure you're stopping at 10 and 1 or 1 o'clock at least, okay? Breakfast, lunch, and tea, that's good enough for some people, okay? Evening snack, this is a tip on evening snacks. If you find yourself someone with a sweet tooth, someone pinching biscuits out of biscuit tin at night time, this is a hack that changed my life. Save your sweet treats until later in the day. Okay, so if you enjoy chocolate, I would be saving chocolate until your last meal of the day, until a snack before you go to bed maybe. Might not be optimal, so the gurus say, but this is a hack that changed my life. Why? Because if you have fucking chocolate bar at 8 or 9 in the morning, you're then craving chocolate for the rest of the day. Put your sweet treats for later on in the day, and then this will be a game changer. Because you then go to bed, you're not going to be in the fridge because you're going to be sleeping, then you wake up, you're fresh the next day. Okay? Meal timings. Now you know what to eat, the foods you should be eating. When should you be eating it? I would work out the times of the day when you're most hungry, the times of the day when you're most tired, the times of the day that you realistically stop. If you stop at fucking just 11 o'clock, then you're just going to have a main meal at 11 o'clock. If you stop at 10 and 1, have a snack at 10, a lunch at 1 or whatever. But stop working through your breaks. Actually make time to sit down. Otherwise, you're a busybody and you never get shit done because you're actually starving, and you end up nipping to the service stations or the cafe in the afternoon as well anyway, wasting time. So sit down, make 10 minutes. Everybody's got 10 minutes to eat. Make 10 minutes to eat and then get back to work, okay? As this is a quote I love, Denzel Washington, he says, a quote, just because you're doing a lot more, it doesn't mean you're getting a lot more done. Think about that, okay? Just because you're doing a lot more, it doesn't mean you're getting a lot more done. What do I mean by that? Those of you skipping lunch saying, I'm too busy, I haven't got time. Just because you're working that extra 10 minutes in the day and you're not stopping for lunch, does that mean you're getting 10 minutes worth of work done? Are you really making that much difference? Because you're probably getting to the afternoon, you're crashing, you're binging, you're starving, and you're drained, you're fucking laying there like that because you're so hungry and you've got no energy, okay? Also, should you be prepping or should you be buying? Doesn't really make much difference. I would recommend prepping, of course, but you do not need to meal prep to see progress. We have lads on our program who we work with who work away a lot, who can't meal prep because their food doesn't stay fresh. You do not have to meal prep to be in shape. However, I would recommend it for tradesmen because it's just going to take the thought process out of it, okay? Just quickly then, before we wrap things up, hydration and supplementation, how would I be setting that up? Hydration, I would be having 4 to 6 litres of water per day, depending on the individual. Do not come at me if you're one of these guys, these gurus, who I get messages off on Instagram saying, Joe, I can't drink 4 litres of water a day. I'm going to drown. I'm going to get this illness. Fucking, if you're a tradesman, learn from my experience. Learn from the lads who we work with. You need water, okay? You need at least 4 litres a day. I would say 6 litres upwards per day, okay? As an example, some tips and tricks. I had a client work with us, Will Stallion, WJS Electrical, I think it was. If you're listening to this, shout out Will. But he used to say to me, Joe, I'm pissing like a fucking horse. Like, I don't know how to do all this shit. I don't know how I can drink this much in a day. We had a catch-up call after, like, we generally have them every month. I remember catching up with him after, like, a couple of months on the program. And we had a call to touch base. And one thing he said to me, Joe, I've fallen off I can't remember when this was, but I remember him saying that he'd fallen off the wagon with his nutrition and he'd noticed such a big dip in his energy levels. And I remember him saying that to me as well. A tip and trick, if you're saying you can't get 4 litres of water in a day or 5 or 6 litres of water in a day, go back to the podcast I done with Sam Featherstone from Oval Renewables. He said things like something so simple as getting a big bottle. As an example, I'm now holding a massive Stanley bottle in front of the camera. Those of you watching it, get yourself a massive bottle. It will change the game. It will help you drink so much more, okay? On hydration as well, you want to be having 1 to 1.5 litres within the first hour to an hour and a half of waking. If you're training in the morning, make sure you have at least a litre of water with electrolytes before you train, okay? Through sleeping, respiration, perspiration, sweating and breathing, you lose a couple of litres of water during the evening. Okay, so if you're not having at least 2 litres of water in the evening, there's no wonder you feel drained, you're tired, you've never got any energy, okay? So listen to that. If you take one thing from this video, drink more water or squash, sugar-free squash, like you can have flavourings in it, take that, okay? Take one thing, take that. Supplementation. I don't want to go into supplementation too much, but if I could recommend 2 supplements every tradesman should be taking, electrolytes, it helps you hydrate, essentially, and creatine monohydrate, it's going to help with performance in the gym, it's going to help with blood flow, it's going to help with recovery, okay? So drink more, take those 2 supplements, okay? That's a start. Take homes from what we've spoken about then so far, just to wrap and round things up. Having a routine is key. Structuring your tasks and what you've got to do in a day is key. If you don't know that you've got to do it, if you haven't written down you're going to do it, you're not going to do it, okay? You wouldn't wing what materials you need to build the house on site next month for the job you got, would you? You wouldn't just guess how many bricks you got. You've worked it out. You've got QS to work it out or whatever. So stop trying to wing your fitness and fat loss journey and moaning that you're not seeing progress. Once you start seeing results, motivation will come. I can promise you that. Do what works for you, not works for everyone else. Just because Steve and John are having 3 meals a day, it don't mean you can't make progress on 2. It doesn't mean you can't make progress on 3 meals and a couple of snacks, okay? Just because Brian is training in the morning, it doesn't mean you can't make progress training in the evening. Do what works for you and your routine and your kids and your family. Don't aim to be perfect as well, just strive to be better. Understand that you're not going to finish at the same time each day being a tradesman. If you miss a workout day, don't fall off the bandwagon, get back on it the next day, okay? So stop trying to be perfect, just strive to be better. 2 quotes to finish up then, okay? Winners don't manage their time, they manage their priorities. Think about that. Winners do not manage their time, they manage their priorities. What's your priority in life? Is it to just work like a nutcase, have loads of money that you can't spend because you've got no time and all you do is work? Or is your priority to have some kind of balance where you work hard enough, you earn a decent whack, and you actually have enough time and energy and money to enjoy it with your friends and your family? And then number 2, a quote from Thomas Edison, trade-related quote. He obviously made or invented the light bulb, okay? He said, I have not failed, I've just found 10,000 ways that didn't work. This was before he found the light bulb or whatever it was. I have not failed, I've just found 10,000 ways that didn't work. So this is just to back up my point, just because I've said this is what worked for me and this is what I think you should do. Trial and error what works for you, because every person is different, and this is why every single program we offer and every single client we work with has a personalized plan and program, okay? Hope you enjoyed this. Hope you took some value from it. Remember to like, whether you're listening on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, wherever you're listening. Remember to comment if you want to leave a comment, okay? And subscribe. Really helps if you do subscribe. It helps to obviously put the word out, okay? Send it to a mate who might benefit, or share it, save it, send it to a mate who might benefit. If you want more information on what we do and see if we might be able to help, head to the links in the bio. You'll find our website. You see plenty of results of guys that we have helped. Drop me a message on Instagram if you want to chat, if you've got any questions about what I've been through. And there's also a link there to book a call if you want to see if this is something we can help you with, okay? And if you want my guide showing you how to set up your own journey, breaking down every single step of what I've just been through in writing, and it will break down exactly from A to B, exactly, I've said exactly about 100 times, but it'll break down exactly from A to B how to set up your journey, every single step of the way, from nutrition to steps to training to supplementation to hydration to sleep to stress, how to manage all of that. Message me on Instagram or WhatsApp, toolbox, the word toolbox, and I'll send it over to you. See you in the next one.